It doesn't matter who we are, or where we have come from, or how wealthy we are, or how big or small we are, or how able we are. What matters is we've come all this way by sticking together and being there for each other. In our group of 6, some of us were related or friends, but nevertheless, we've come together from different parts of the world with that one dream to get to the summit. And at this very moment, having a good time as if we all knew each other since childhood is something. And of course, we had our differences, but at the end, we work like we are one entity. From sharing essential gear and medicines to waiting up for a friend to catch up with the group. Understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses. And that's how this adventure brought us together. This episode concludes our story. The story of our greatest achievement, summiting the Kilimanjaro. Day 5 was the happiest of all days for us because we are really close to that final goal. And most importantly, it's bright and sunny finally. Here we have these solar panels, which is the only source of power up here on these barren lands. Walking with these can add weight to your backpacks, but thanks to our Paul Joseph for carrying these hanging on his back all the time so we could keep filming and charge on the go. Today's hike is the shortest with only 3 miles to cover to reach our next stop, which is the Barafo camp. We have to reach the camp as early as possible to get some sleep before the final push to the summit, starting tonight. Thus we can save some energy for the most demanding part of our trek. So here we go again. From here, we can see a change in terrain and also the vegetation as declining. We are entering the dry desert lands of Kilimanjaro. On our way, we could see porters bringing cans of water from Karanga camp because that's the last point of available water source. Which means you have to be very conservative with water usage from here on. Now Chandni has a bit of nose bleeding and headache, but again here comes our guide Chua to rescue. Chua is trained on medical support. He assures that all of our oxygen levels are acceptable and we are all good to go.
By day 5, I was extremely tired and I also had shortness of breath but no symptoms of AMS. And I have to mention that our team captain was Chua. So he helped me a lot. He just asked me to go on with the flow and take small steps.
Up here we could really feel the altitude. It seems like our bodies are struggling to take in more oxygen. With every step we take, we could experience the shortness of breath. Check out these highest flowering plants on the mountain. These are the everlasting flowers which are quite common in Kilimanjaro.
This is flower called the everlast flower. They have more than 5 species. So when we touch there, it's like a plastic. And they are found in the high elevation. From this like a 4,200. Even the way of summit is, you're gonna see that.
Yeah, this is very sharp. And then this one is the volcanic rocks.
Okay.
Looks different to the other rocks here.
Okay.
And then, as you know, we have a little bit history of the mountain here. So long time ago in Kilimanjaro, it was built as 3 peaks.
Okay.
One peak was Shira Peak.
Okay.
Second peak, this one Kibo Peak, the way we are going to summit.
Uh-huh.
And then you have another peak, which is Mawen's Peak. So we see it when we are in the festival. So it's the Shira Peak, it was erupted.
Okay.
So nowadays over there remain at the Shira Cathedral. After erupted,
Uh-huh.
so we had the eruption.
So your ancestors used it for cutting something or?
So sometimes for cutting like ropes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, for many portals sometimes. we use
Yeah,
it for
it looks like it's very sharp,
very
sharp edge.
yeah. Yes.
This was our first day without getting drenched in rain, and we are quite thankful to that. And the views we could see is of massive scale, was quite overwhelming for our tiny brains to process. And now here we are at the Barafu camp.
Jambo jambo bwana, Marekani nzuri sana, Kilimanjaro kuna matata, everything pole pole, uhuru ni pale jama, Stella ni pale bwana.
It's 9 in the night, and we could hear helicopters flying off from the Barafu camp. Yeah, that's right. In case if anyone gets into complications like cerebral edema, for instance, Barafu camp is the last point of any air rescue possible. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our final mission, the summit climb. This is the most serious and important part of our trek. We will have to start today before midnight from the Barafu camp and climb to 19,000 feet, which is where the Uhuru Peak is at. The objective is to reach the peak by early morning before the ice on the ground melts, because without a stable pathway, there is no way that you are making it to the top.
Summit night, and we are trying to put the maximum number of layers so that
This part would be a test of our endurance limits, which would push our bodies to its maximum stress levels, both physically and mentally. There will be freezing temperatures averaging around minus 20 degrees Celsius. And to take things even worse, the wind speed will be very high up there, where one would feel like it's minus 40, which is gonna be pretty extreme. Now, survival is key here, so we will have to use all of our layers to protect ourselves from the deadly weather. So here we go into the darkness.
As everyone else, I was sleep deprived. We spent most of the time talking without sleeping, so we lost all our time, and then we had to start at 10:45 in the evening to start the climb. And then I was so sleep deprived, I was not even able to walk.
The porter who was helping me when I was tired and sleep deprived, and I was actually literally sleeping through the walk, through the whole hike towards the summit. He dragged me, he gave me encouraging words, he actually massaged my shoulders.
you have a certain area where you always have to look at, because your every step that you take is really important. As you go on top, I find rocks which are which has a bit of icy covering, but with the help of my special porter Johnny and the chief McLeod, I could really do it, and it was really challenging.
All we could see is endless lands blanketed by snow. At faraway distances, you could see some of those huge monolithic structures of ice. It makes you crazy to believe a place like this actually exists right above the Earth's equator.
The feeling that you have, it's like purely blank. Everybody was taking a lot of breaks in between to adjust on to acclimatize onto that high altitude.
After 8 hours of grueling climb without enough sleep, we have successfully made it to the Arctic zone of Mount Kilimanjaro. It was so damn cold that I couldn't feel the 5 layers of clothing I'm in, and my limbs became numb that I couldn't feel them anymore. The experience was way more horrifying than what we even remotely imagined. For some time, I literally lost my memory of how I even ended up here. That's probably the altitude playing its tricks with my brain.
My mind was, so much of confusion and tired, fatigue. You don't want to move forward. The guides, they really helped us to move forward. And I was literally clinching onto them sometime.
You could see other trekkers struggling to even take a step forward, just like us, battling with the forces of nature. Right now, it's me and my porter Joseph, and the rest of the team is either further away or behind me. I've lost all my confidence to do this and even asked Joseph if there's any chance to turn back. But thankfully, he kept motivating me and literally dragged me all the way up here.
Do you love this job? Yeah.
It's been hours of walk through the bitter frozen world which just doesn't seem to end. I felt worried because I couldn't locate any of my friends or other team members except my own porter.
One guy was with me, Paulo. It was 10 minutes walk, 2 minutes sit, 10 minutes walk, that kind of pace we are going because the elevation is too high and the oxygen level is too low, so it is really difficult. But every time he comes in, Paul, you are strong, you can do it. I'm pretty sure we both is going to conquer the Mount Kilimanjaro, and he keep pushing me, so I'm really thankful for Paulo.
At around 8:30 am, there it is. There lies the highest point of the great African continent. Yes, we are at the roof of Africa. While I looked back, that night climbing felt like the worst few hours of my life. But now, there is this absolute great feeling that all of our efforts has been finally paid off. Yes, here we are, living that dream of being next to that iconic signage on the Uhuru Peak.
All you need to do is reach the peak, take a couple of pictures, and you can't spend time there more than 15 to 20 minutes because it is really gonna affect you. The oxygen level is really low, and you have to make sure that you have the energy to climb down and reach Barafu camp.
The current altitude of where we are at is classified as extremely high and hence pose high levels of risk. So we've been asked to quickly descend the ice-clad terrain, but then we had our greatest of all surprises. As the snowy skies cleared up, we had the absolute stunning views of glaciers and the massive volcanic crater of Kibo.
We were able to see that biggest glacier that was blue and icy cold, and I have no words to express that beautiful glacier. It's huge, humongous, and I've never seen anything like that ever before.
As we hiked down, we could see the colossal southern ice fields on our right side.
There were other people coming up and congratulating me to put forward this effort, and that too on a crutch. So really happy with that experience. And then again we climbed down to Barafu camp and reached about in the afternoon.
With a victory, we could hold on for the rest of our lives. We slid down the towering alpine desert lands. But for me, I was heavy-hearted at the same time. It is estimated that all the glaciers we just saw will vanish from the mountain by 2030. The entire ice fields of Kilimanjaro is believed to be wiped away due to the rising temperatures of our planet. What's even more shocking to know is that everyone, including myself, is part of this irreversible process. This can be easily dismissed, but destruction of nature is as big a threat to humanity itself. After an incredible day, we have reached the Millennium Camp, which is at 12,500 feet. This would be our last day on the mountain.
Jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana, wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata. Tumeanza na Shira, hakuna matata. Tukafika na Lava, hakuna matata. Baranko tukalala.
Chandu was a real support. I know her from from my school days, and her kind of character. It was all a group of people under one roof. In that way, it was really good. Different people from different sector. Even Akhila, she is a nurse. All the details. I mean, if you have a flu, I had flu. On the first day onwards. So it was controlled. And Paul is the captain of a group, and he was all like macho man, running around, getting things done. And Sijo was also helping him around, and Sham was always behind the camera, just like he's always shooting us around. As a team, 6 individuals coming under one roof, and that too for one aim, to summit Kilimanjaro, Uhuru Peak. So that is also a bonding, a special bonding that have really come up, and that too when you're passing through your toughest one of the toughest treks in your life, and that bonding is really important, and that keeps up.
When we came together as a team, it was a wonderful experience, and I was amazed to see they all were my own wavelength. So it was an awesome team.
It was a big experience. It was challenging for a lot of us, especially one of my team members, as you all know, it's Neeraj George. He has only one leg. He has a lot of dreams, and he doesn't like to be treated as a physically challenged person. One thing he wants is equality. He's doing this Kili trek for a cause, to prove that even he can do it. Even those who are physically challenged can do it, and we all supported him for this cause.
He was keep motivating us, because when he is hiking, it's so hard for us to stop.
It all kind of felt like we have traveled away from the civilization for a long time. But for a fact, we know that a hot shower and a comfy bed is waiting for us in our sweet Moshi town. So once again, it's time to get back on the trail. Today, we are heading down to the Moeka gate, and that's where we exit the park. Today's task is to pass through the montane rainforests of Kilimanjaro. Big trees and thick lush greenery is what we can see around, and that'll be our last ecological zone to pass through.
First of all, I have to thank you for great cooperation you showed from the first day until this moment, which helped us to make our jobs to be easy. But guys, I have one more thing to say. As you know, we are human. We never know. From the first day until this moment, maybe it was me or one of our team who made a little bit mistake for you guys. Please forgive us. You know we are human, no one perfect.
Spending the little time we had with the people of Tanzania, we experienced their culture, we heard their stories. We watched our guides and porters show such unconditional kindness and effort to help us achieve this enormous feat. Despite all the struggles and hardships we faced, they inspired us to push beyond our physical and mental limits. When we started this journey, we thought once we made it to the top of the world, that'd be it. It would be the greatest achievement of our lives. But looking down at planet Earth from the Uhuru Peak, we felt small, we felt insignificant. However, it was comforting in a strange way. The thing about climbing a mountain is, once you're up there, you realize the sky is not the limit. Humans have experienced this revelation time and again throughout history. It's what inspires us to do the impossible, to reach the greater heights, to find the next mountain to conquer. This web series is a tribute to that revelation, an ode to humanity's beauty in achievement and community, a love letter to the people who inspire themselves and others to become greater. If you watched this so far, please hit the bell icon and the subscribe button so that I'll be encouraged to bring more stories of adventure like this to you in the future. This is Shyam Gopakumar Films. Thank you for being a part of our journey.